Hey everyone, I hope you're having a good day at home today. We have lots to do. 5 days to make a video game is not a lot of time, so it's kind of a bummer that we're at home today. So I'm going to send this video. Hopefully you'll get a chance to watch it and be able to work on some of these things. This is what we're going to cover today. I'm going to show you how to do gravity. I'm going to show you jumping, and then I'm going to show you a couple other scripts so that you can add some levels to your game. So if you want to work on this a ton today, you could get a lot done. So really quickly, here we go. Oh, the other cool thing about this is I keep saying really quickly. Well, that's because I don't want to make a 40-minute video or an hour and 15-minute video. So I'm going to try to keep this at about 15 to 20 minutes. If you need to pause it, you need to rewind it, you think I'm going too fast, you can easily go back and do it at your own pace and repeat things over and over again and pause things so that you can get things done. All right, so with that being said, here we go. If you click on your name after you log in and go to My Stuff, right here, My Stuff, it's going to take you to My Stuff, and you're going to see your game right there. And the game that we're working on is called Untitled 11. I know I should probably change that, and I will at some point. And we're going to click See Inside. That's going to take us to our workspace where we can begin to work on our game. And the sprite that we're going to be working with for the most part today is our main sprite, which is I called it Ball. So to change the name of it, you click on I right here and you can change the name of it. So if you have a name for your character, you can call him something. So mine's just called Ball. And remember, when we stopped the other day, our game basically left off with us having a start button taking us to the first level, our ball being able to move back and forth to the right, and it was stuck right here. Well, watch right now when I let go of this ball, it is now going to not do anything because I didn't start the game. All right, so if I start the game and I press the green flag and click here, well, there we go. You see my ball drops to the ground. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do first. So this piece of script right here, I've put the script in already, and I'm going to just kind of walk you through it. This script right here is going to make the ball drop to the ground. So it's really simple. These are all things that we've used before in terms of categories. So when clicked, you're going to find that up here in events. There's when clicked. We're going to drag that down there just like that. All right. Then you're going to go to control, and we have forever. So you see forever right here. We're going to grab that and bring that over there. Then we're going to get the repeat until. So repeat until, we haven't used that one yet, but here it is. So this is basically telling it for the whole entire game, I want you to repeat this until this happens. So we're going to drag that out here, and here's what we're going to have it repeat until. Touching the color black. This is really important. The color black is the color of our ground, and that's going to be the color of our ground and our steps or platforms or anything else throughout the entire game. We got to keep it that exact same color. All right, so we find this script up over here under sensing. That's what's nice about Scratch. It's color coordinated, so I can see that light blue. I know I'm going to find it over here in the light blue sensing section. So here it is, touching color. Now this is blue. That's not black. That's not what I want. How do we change this? Well, it's really simple. If I click on this square, you see that the cursor changes to a hand. And now this hand, as I start to move it over things, is going to turn to the exact color that it's on top of. Well, what do we want it to be the exact color of? Our ground. So I'm going to come right over here and put the pointer finger right on top of the ground, and you'll see that it turns black. And as soon as I'm on that, I'm going to click it, and now I have it, and now I'm going to drag it and drop it right into that spot. Remember, we have this little opening right there. I'm going to just plop it right in there. So now we say repeat until touching black, and change Y by -7 is the next one. We're going to find that in motion. It's right down here. All right. Change Y by -7. Remember, we're using X and Y coordinates. Y coordinates are vertical. Positive Y goes up, negative Y goes down. That's why we have the -7. So if I take my ball and I bring it up here and I let go of it, it's going to drop at the rate of -7. That's going to be the change, all right? If I were to change that number, let's say to -20, well, watch what happens now. Is it going to drop faster or slower? Well, make a guess, and let's see if you're right. Obviously, much faster. So that's too fast. I'm just going to tell you from experience, we don't want it that fast. Between -7 and -10 is a good number. -10 might be decent. So if we come up here and drop that, there we go. That's dropping at -10. -7, I think, works well. So I'm going to use -7. So there we go. There's -7. All right. That is how we make the ball drop to the ground. All right. Now, this piece of script right here, this one that looks super complicated, all right, this is our jumping script. This is going to make our ball jump and go down. So we added right and left the other day. Now this one, you can see right here, says key arrow up pressed. Well, watch what happens when I press the up button. It's going to jump. All right, so this guy runs and he jumps just like that. All right, so he's going and he's jumping and he's jumping and he's doing his thing. All right, so if I change this to -10, let's see if that is going to affect how he jumps at all. So that's -10. You can see, now he's not jumping as high, right? Now you see that? He's not nearly going as high. So if I were to change that to -20, let's see what would happen. It doesn't even really jump. So you see how the gravity affects your jump, all right? So if your gravity's too much, he's not going to jump very high. Sure, this ball will drop really fast here, but when you go to try to jump, he can't even get up off the ground. All right, so that's why we don't want this number to be too high. So we're going to keep that back at -7. So now we can see his jump. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go through what some of these things mean. So we know what the when clicked. We know the forever. We've used if-then statements before. We've used the key pressed. All right, so what's this orange one right here? This orange is actually a variable. A variable is something that can change. And we need to actually create this variable. And the way we do that is by going over to right here where it says data. And we're going to go inside of that and click on that. And we're going to click on make variable. And inside there, we're going to type the word jump. So we type in JUMP. And you're going to say for all sprites and say OK. And that's going to, I'm not going to click OK because I've already done it. So it's going to create a little button there that says jump. And it's then going to give you these blocks to use for your script over on the right hand side. So we then want to take this one that says set jump. And we're going to drop that in over here. And we're going to say set jump. Let me change this to 7. And we're going to say set jump to 20 and change y by 7. All right. And so what that's doing is it's setting the variable to the amount of 20 to start. And it's saying if you press the up arrow, we're going to change. Actually, we don't want this to be 7. We want this thing to actually jump. I'm going to make that 30. It's going to set the variable to 20. And when we press the up key, it's going to change y by 30. So y is going to jump up 30. So here we go. There we go. Big jump. Big jump. There we go. And we then say repeat until touching black. So it's going to keep doing this until it touches black. And what's going to happen to jump is it's going to keep getting smaller. So as this goes up, this does this really, really fast. So it's going to go up and then it's going to take one away, take one away, take one away. So it's going to kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller. And then we're going to change y by jump. Well, y starts out at 30, but what's going to happen until it touches black? Well, y is going to keep getting smaller and smaller because this keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. All right. So this jumps and then he comes back down and lands on the ground just like that. So if we were to change some of these numbers, let's see what happens. Let's say change jump to 30. Let's see what happens if we do that. Whoa, super jump. So you can see if we change jump by 30, that gives it a lot more time to go up and to come down. Well, that might be too much, all right? That might be a little crazy. And again, if we make this smaller, if I made this like 10, you can see, again, it's almost like changing this to a really big negative number. So this number in here, let's do 20 again. I thought that was a pretty good number. So we got 20 in there. And there we go. I got to click on that, make sure it's going. There we go. If this is not yellow, see how it's highlighted in yellow? You can always check a script to see if it works by clicking on it. And if it stays yellow, that means it's active. It's working. All right. So this guy is now jumping. This seems like a good amount for him to jump. All right. There we go. So that's this script. That's what makes him jump. So we're going to put these together to get this little jump blip right in here. See how it says change y by 10? Okay. Well, we would just grab this one right here and plop that right in there just like that. All right. And then this change jump is right here, change jump. So we know where to find all those things and we can just put them all in there. All right. So now, here's what's kind of cool. Now, we have the moving side by side. We have the jumping. So you're wondering, what's that little red squiggly line? Well, that's my finish line on the first board. So here's what's going to happen. You have to have some place on each level that is the finish. This is how you get by it. So when we touch that red line, it's going to finish level 1 and take us to level 2. So watch what happens. I'm running, I jump, but it doesn't work. Oh, here's why it doesn't work. I have the script right here, but I have not put it into the game yet, all right? Because it's just sitting out here floating in no man's land. I actually have to stick it inside of here, and that's where it's actually going to go. I had separated it so I could show you how it works. So this right here is going to get this guy to go to the next level. So let me put it in here and activate it, and then I'm going to show you how it works. So he goes here, and he doesn't really need to jump, but I'm going to jump because it's fun. He jumps, and there we go. It takes us to the next level, all right? So now here's my next level. So if I go up and I go up and I go up and I go up, you can see if I miss that, I'm going to drop back to the ground. So I have to get here and here and here. And now it's going to take me to the next level. There we are. And now I have these green lines. So as your levels get harder, you're going to start to add barriers. And you can choose a color to become your barrier. I've chosen green. So here's the script right here that will do this. So I'm going to drop this in here really fast to activate it because it's going to, when clicked, forever. So this is going to happen throughout the game. So watch now what happens. I can jump, and I can jump over this. And I can jump over that. Oh, and I can jump over that. But watch what happens if I touch this last one. I don't make it up. It takes me back to start. All right. So let me show you the script for this really fast. But before we do that, we're going to have to go and add these colors because we need to know the colors for our script. So to do that, we're going to go back to our stages over here. So our stage is our backdrops, where our backdrops change. So I'm going to click on stage over here to make sure that's highlighted. Then I'm going to click on backdrops right up here. And now here's all our different backdrops. Okay. So here's what I highly suggest. I highly suggest that you take one of these levels and you just duplicate it over and over again because we want to keep that black line at the bottom. We want to have that as like the constant, consistent thing in all of our levels. So if I hold down Control and I left click on a level, it's going to bring up duplicate. And then I can just say duplicate and hold it again and say duplicate. And it's going to just make a bunch of blank boards for me with a ground level. And what's kind of cool about this is you see it automatically changes the names for it for me. Level 5, level 6. It senses that. So if you start on level 1, you can just keep changing names. Level 1, level 2, level 3. It'll do it. All right. So on level 1, I decided red was going to be my color. So I came here and I clicked on red, and I just clicked on the marker, and I just drew and I made my marker a little bit fatter right here, and I just made this red squiggly line as my final spot. Then I went to level 2, and I added some stairs. So I clicked on black, and I clicked on just this line, and I started adding some stairs to add platforms for him to climb. And then I put my final finish spot way up top. So you can see it's getting progressively harder. Every game should get harder and harder and harder. Start easy, get harder. So then I put another red squiggly line here. Then I go to level 3. In level 3 now I added barriers. I decided to pick green as my color. And so green is the color that I'm using for all of these barriers. So I chose that color green, and I just grabbed some lines and I stuck those out there, and then I put in a red finish line. And then if I wanted to go to level 4, I could do the same thing. So now if I wanted to make it even harder, I could come in here and I could grab black, because those are going to be my platforms, and I can make a teeny tiny platform. Let's just do that. I'm going to make a small one. And I'm gonna actually, I like to use the marker instead. So I'm gonna come here and make a little one. This is gonna be harder, and I'm gonna make kind of a big jump. Let's see if he can get over there. And then I'm going to make another big jump. This one's gonna be actually kind of high. And now watch this. I'm gonna put in a green line, and he's gonna actually have to jump over this like perfectly and get to the other side of it. And then I'm going to put my red down here in the corner. So you can see this definitely got harder. He's going to have to come here, jump here, jump all the way over there, jump all the way up here, then jump over this, and then drop down to the bottom. Okay, so you can see now I can just now I can go to the next level and keep adding things. All right, so let's test this out now. If I go back to my ball, right, and I'm gonna press stop and the green flag, and so I'm gonna come here. I can move. I can hit this. It goes to the next level. Jump, 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 jump. You can see you can skip some sometimes depending on how you make it. And I make that jump. Ah, this one's tough. Ooh, this one's really tough. Let's say you make one too hard. Let's say you just made it impossible. Like you just can't get over it. You made the line too tall. All right, it's really simple. If I just come back to this level and click on backdrop and go here, and I grab my eraser and I go, uh-oh, I made this level too high. Watch what happens. I just come here and say, whoop. There we go. I got rid of that. You can see right there, it just made it shorter. It just made it possible, because you don't want to have an impossible game. No one wants to play a game that's impossible. All right, so now I come back over here and I'm still playing. So now this is possible to get over, and I jump. There we go. So now I'm on this level. Let's see how this level is. This, if it's too hard or not. Oh, that's easy. Ah, there we go. Ta-da, and it goes to the next level. All right, so you can see how that works. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back a level. I'm gonna go back to this one. And I'm just gonna press stop, and I'm gonna go click on my ball, and I'm gonna go to scripts. And so now we need to make these two scripts. So let me pull these out again so you can see them. All right, so the end one, the touching your final spot, you're going to do an if-then statement, so that's in control, if-then. You're going to use a touching color, that's right here in sensing, and you're going to grab that out and pull that in there. And then remember, you're going to click on this to change it to the hand, and then you're going to come over here and find your finish line and click on that, and that's going to change it to the color. Then this go to, we're going to use the same one that we start the game with. We want it to start right there. And so if I hold down control and click on that, I can duplicate that and then just plop that right in there. And so if I stick that in there, remember, you can get rid of something just by grabbing it from the bottom and taking it and just throwing it over here. And so I would just stick that in there just like that. I'm going to throw that away because I already have it. And then we're going to use this one. Switch backdrop to next backdrop. Since this is going to happen throughout the game, we want it to know that every time it touches red, go to the next backdrop, go to the next level. So we find that over here in looks. So if I click on looks and it says switch backdrop to level 6, well, we don't want it to switch to one specific one. We want it to go to the next one. So if we click on this arrow, you can see right down here, next backdrop. So over here, I would click on this arrow and click on next backdrop. And now this piece of script is done, and I'm going to plop it right in under there. And so now here's the barrier one, if touching green. Well, we want it to go back to the starting point where it drops to. Okay, so when this ball drops down to the beginning, it drops to basically that position right there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say if touching the color green, and again, to get it the exact color, we're going to click there and come on top of that and click on that, and it's going to make it that color. Go to, and if you're wherever your ball is, it's going to sense that that's where the ball is, and you're going to grab that and drag that in there. So if I come here to motion, and here's the go to one, we're going to say go to that spot, and we're going to put that one in, and that's going to basically say if it touches green, go back to start. You got to start all over again. So if I were to start this board right here, and by clicking these, I'm going to activate them so all these work now. So I can test this board out by jumping here, jumping here, jumping here, and watch when I touch this green, I go back to start. Now, I can see that this is kind of easy here. So if I wanted to change this one and make it harder, I could click here, come back to backdrops, click on this board, and I can maybe erase this one and say, you know what, I'm gonna put this a little farther out. That's too easy. So I'm gonna come here to the marker and change it to black, and I'm gonna put it way over here and see if that's a little more challenging. All right, and then I'll come back here and jump and jump. Oh, he's stuck to that. See, if he touches black, he stays. So maybe I don't even need that. Maybe I can just do this. Let's see if I can see what's going to be good. Well, I don't want it to get too hard, so let's do this. I'm going to jump him back over here. I'm going to leave it back where it was. I think that was good because I'm going to have lots of levels. I have plenty of time to make this thing harder. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put it right back there. There we go. So it's going to show up, jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. And he makes it over, ta-da. And he goes to the next level there. All right. So really quickly, before my battery's about to die, I'm on 9% right now. I've been talking too long. So I click on the ball. Here's what we did today. Scripts we added. We did this one right here. This one makes the gravity, makes it fall. This right here, this script that looks a little tricky and complicated, you're going to have to make a variable, remember, in data. That is our jumping script. And then we added these two in here. This is for a barrier that makes you go back to start. And this is going to, the red one is what makes you go to the next level. And then we also came to stages and our backdrops, and we made a number of new backdrops. So we had to add a color to be our finish line. And then we created a new level by duplicating these. And so we just duplicated and duplicated. And there's another way to duplicate too. You can come up here and just click on the stamp and click on that. So if I clicked on the stamp and came down here instead of clicking on control, watch what happens. There we go. It creates a new level like that. So you can also use this stamp if you want. So we created levels, and then we also created barriers, choosing one color. This is going to be our barrier that makes us go back to start. All right. So lots to do today, lots to work on. If you get bored, stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. And again, if you don't get this all done, or you have questions, or it's confusing, don't worry about it. We'll go over it again tomorrow. I want to make sure that everyone feels confident and is sure about themselves and makes a really awesome game. So I'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a good day.